Hi everybody, this is Rose with Sharon and I'm back again with another movie review. I just recently had a chance to see Invader Zim enter the Florplus. And if you know me well and if you've read my fanfics, you know how I feel about Invader Zim. And needless to say, I was watching this and I've met Richard Horvitz, so I know the man. He's a jewel. He's an American treasure, and I love him to death. He's just so cool. He's just the most incredible person ever, and he's just as sweet as can be, and it's just so down to earth. And I've met a lot of voice actors like this, and he's awesome. And the whole time watching this, I'm thinking, Richard, did you lose your voice when you were doing the VA work for this? Yeah, this isn't the first time I felt that. I felt that way when I watched Billy and Mandy, which I still love to this day. I mean, I like a lot of cartoons that would be, and Zim definitely fits the bill of being more along the darker side, the more ominous, or say a so-called gothic side. Gothic is an adjective or noun that's been wielded about and bandied about so much that people confuse it with emo. Goth and emo are not the same thing. I hate to tell you, they're different, but I don't know if I could put myself in that cat. I mean, I used to hang out with goths, and it's funny. Despite the dark clothing, they're actually really great people. I mean, people are like, oh my God, you look like the Grim Reaper. You're creepy, but no, not all of them are like that. Some of them are, yes, obsessed with death, but not all of them are like that. I can tell you that from experience. But I've known a few. Yeah, I don't think I can lump myself into that category. Even though I do have kind of a morbid sense of humor, and this actually leans on the darker side of humor. It has that random laugh out loud humor that we've all come to know and love. Jonan Vasquez, he's a genius, and I want to meet him someday, just like I want to meet Andrew Hussey. Yeah, I would love. I don't know if they would let me hug them, but I would say, look, you've inspired me, and you're one of my favorite people. You're my idol. How can I create something so incredible as you have? And he launches us into that world, and the animation is absolutely gorgeous. It's spectacular. The story is insanely good, and I'm not going to tell you what happens in this particular movie. You just have to watch it yourself, but it's really tremendous. Just like with Rocco, it's so good. And it ends on kind of, well, it doesn't kind of end on a cliff. It does end on a cliffhanger, more Lady or Tiger. It has an unresolved ending. Let me just put it that way. It's one of those things that you think, yeah, just like with Rocco's Modern Life, which I heard a lot of rumors circling about. They are talking, and I hope this is true, that they are going to be doing a new series. And if they are able to get a good response, then Nickelodeon might do it, because Nickelodeon's kind of fallen off the face of the earth, except with Wonder Park. And I know a lot of people, you either loved Wonder Park or you hate it. I loved Wonder Park. I thought Wonder Park was absolutely sensational, because it's basically their version of Phineas and Ferb in a way. It's like Phineas and Ferb meets Inside Out. That's the best way I can describe Wonder Park. And I really like the characters, and I think that it has a lot of potential. Plus, I already shipped two of the characters, even though they're very young, and I thought, yep, they're gonna get married later on in life. Their childhood is the whole Bollywood story. Yes, I'm gonna do it with an accent. Yes, my childhood sweetheart. I loved her. Oh, I should say, say it this way. I loved him from the time we were in kindergarten, and I knew we had the red thread of fate, so I thought to myself, when I get older, I will marry this person, and what happened is I met somebody else. Well, actually, yeah, that's what always happens in Bollywood, but you know this is true. But what else can I say about Enter the Florpus? It's definitely my favorite of the two films that have come out from Nickelodeon. And I haven't seen Hey Arnold, but I really want to see Hey Arnold now, because I loved Hey Arnold growing up. So I give it 2 thumbs up, 5 stars, hands down, because it's just so spontaneous that it's unlike anything I've ever seen before. So that's why I give it a higher grade. Plus, I might be a little bit bound by my bias due to the fact that I'm a huge Invader Zim fan. That may be it. But if you're looking for a really good animated film that's a little bit more on the sarcastic and snarky and satirical, then I would look into Enter the Florpus, just because it's so good. And then there's the whole idea of quantum mechanics and quantum physics that they launch into it, that for a children's film, even as an adult, I love physics, but it's a subject that really makes my brain start to hurt due to the fact that I'm so limited by my understanding or lack thereof. Don't really have that much else to say, honestly. I've been working on a lot of different things. I will actually talk to you about that, my dear gardeners. I am working on Marauder's subtitle of such epic is Masters of the Air, Land, Sea, and Rails. And currently I have written up to 19 pages worth of narrative, I should say, of our story. I am expanding it into a spin-off with my protagonist's wife. Her sister has her own ship, and she ventures off into the vast reaches of outer space on her own with her crew in her vessel called the Glory. So it's called Refractus Glory. And yes, like with the original, there are space pirates involved. And I've got a story that I'm doing. My best friend said there should be a Japanese Disney princess, so I thought, oh, you've given me an idea. So Hanabiko was born, and there's a reason why she's named Hanabiko. And of course there are kitsune involved, and the whole idea, if you know anything about Japanese folklore and how the kitsune are perceived, then I've always loved kitsune, just because I'm obsessed with foxes and just animals in real life, but the fox is probably one of my favorites other than the wolf. So that's the reason why I used a kitsune. It's going to be amazing once I finish it. I'm so excited because it's a lot similar to Inuyasha, or one I haven't seen yet. It's called Kakariro. Yeah, Kakariro. I haven't seen Kakariro yet, but I'm in the process, and I will. I'm probably going to be watching that for inspiration. And of course, I've got another one that I have been meaning to write for a long time. I don't think anybody else has thought of this idea, but I've seen fan art for what people think would happen, but it's called Fast Food Free for All, and I'm going to actually read the synopsis. To determine which franchise is best, all the best, most beloved, and well-known fast food restaurants compete to win the coveted Deliciousness Trophy, as well as a coveted place among the top 10 to 20 restaurants in Fortune's 500. Let the games begin. Bring it on. That was ad-lib, but who else wants some? You wanted a burger? I deliver it to you on a silver platter. hopefully that'll give me higher points. But no, in that case, it would not be the presentation that would give you a higher mark. It would be the taste of the food that would give you the highest of marks and give you a ranking of how you would fall in that whole scale. There's a panel of judges in this particular story, and they're basing it off of how how well the food tastes itself. It's not really something can look horrible. Like take for example, if you get a Whopper, and I love Whoppers, but if you buy a Whopper with cheese, it's not going to look like it does in the photograph. It never does, but it may be put together in such a way it looks like maybe a 5-year-old did it, but you taste it, you think, yeah, they would rate it due to that, and due to how many points they actually rack up, that would give them an opportunity to make a decision on which restaurant holds the highest, utmost regard. And that will be that will be an insane sort of decision, and I would not want to be on that food panel. No, because I would be like a ball afterward. I would be they would have to roll me out and into the plane back because they're holding it here in California. They would have to roll me into the plane from California back to Indiana. But yeah, I wouldn't want to be on that food panel, but that's what I'm working on. I've developed new characters for Marauders, which I had Vikings and space. Yeah, it's gotten really weird, but I've enjoyed writing it. It's probably one of the best things I've written in a long time, other than the Lux Saga, which, you know, I feel very strongly about. That's about all I have to say. So until next time, live long and prosper. Ciao, Susie!